Welcome to the adventures of Robot Singho. Robot Singho is a mechanical Pambarala who guards and protects Gamarala's watermelon china. Robot Singho loves nothing more than going to the china every morning and walking around it with pride and happiness. It is a beautiful china with a great harvest of big green watermelons. In fact, Gamarala's watermelon china is the best cultivation in the entire village. All because of the watchful eyes of Robot Singho, who takes good care of the china from any intruders. Robot Singho has a lot to do, so many adventures to take part in. Let's see what adventures await you and Robot Singho in this game box. Robot Singho and the Evil Thorny Vines. For kids from age 4 to 8 and beginners, also contains a junior version for kids age 4 and 5. Robot Singho and the Army of Thieves. For kids from age 9 up to adults. Robot Singho and the Race for the Fruits. Multiplayer game for kids from age 4 to 8. Robot Singho and the War of Watermelons. Multiplayer game for kids from age 9 up to adults. Programming Robot Singho is really easy. We will go through each step as we learn more about Robot Singho's awesome programs. You will notice that our Robot Singho can be programmed to be really powerful as we progress through each adventure. So, let's get into learning our Pambarala's wonderful programming techniques. What do you get inside the game box? Game board. This is Gamarala's magnificent china. You move Robot Singho in this china to do various fun activities. Action cards. These are the movements of Robot Singho you have to program. Power cards. These are power moves Robot Singho can perform. We will discuss this later. Main programming board. This is where you program Robot Singho's actions. Power round cards. These represent the 3 power moves you get during Gamma play. We will discuss this later. Power board. This is where you program your power moves. We will discuss this later. Character tokens. These are different players you get in the game. Each mission will have different characters and specific places on the game board. Attack pawns. These little pawns demark the places Robot Singho attacks by throwing watermelons. Super exciting, isn't it? Special attack cards. These cards show the special moves made by thieves. Execution button. This is the button that shows whether you are programming the code or whether you are executing the code. This may look complicated to you at first, but you can learn about each of them as you keep playing the game. How to start programming Robot Singho. How to move Robot Singho is really simple. You have to place the action cards according to the way you want Robot Singho to move, and then you execute it. It's really easy. Let's see how you can do it. First, take the game board and the character card of Robot Singho. Then place it on the board as shown here. This place is always the position Robot Singho is placed at the beginning of every mission. Now let's start programming. Take actions cards and the main programming board. These are the 2 things you need to start programming Robot Singho. Do you see that there are 4 slots on the main programming board? These are the places you have to place your action cards in order to program. The program starts from the leftmost square and gets executed one after the other. Let's see some examples. Once you have placed all 4 cards like this, it means you have created the program. Now you need to execute your program. To do that, take the execution button and flip it to the execution phase. While you are programming, it should be in the programming phase. After flipping it, you can now move Robot Singho, as per the program. Execution means you no longer can change the action cards you have placed on the program board. Once executed, you have to move Robot Singho on the game board, as per the commands you have created with action cards. Once all the actions in the 4 slots in the program board get executed, with Robot Singho moving on the board accordingly, that is the end of movements for Robot Singho in that round. Let's say you place your 4 cards like this. Then you flip the programming phase to the execution phase, and now you can execute your program. Let's see the movement of Robot Singho in each card. The leftmost card is a yellow color move card. This basically means that the Robot Singho will move to the closest yellow color square in the direction he is currently facing. Great! Now let's look at the adjacent card. It has a green leaf drawn on it, with an arrow demarking a turn to the right side. This card means the Robot Singho has to turn to the right side. In order to identify the direction better, you can turn the character card according to the symbol drawn on it. Notice that the character card also has a green leaf drawn on it on the right side. You simply have to rotate the character card 90 degrees to the direction of the leaf. Already you are a great programmer. Let's look at the third card. This card is also similar to the first card. It has a blue color square on it. You already know what this is. You have to move the Robot Singho to the nearest blue square in the direction he is currently facing. Now the final move. Notice that the final card has an arrow facing downwards. This means that the Robot Singho rotates himself completely in the opposite direction from the direction he is currently facing. It's simple as that. That's it. Now you have executed all 4 commands written in your program for Robot Singho. All you need to do in this game is place action cards like this on the program board to write the code, and then execute it to move Robot Singho on the board. It's that easy. Before we move on to the epic adventure, let's look at just one more action card. Take the pickup action card. If you place this action card on your program board at any slot, what does that mean? It means Robot Singho will pick up anything that is there on the square he is currently on. He will not pick up anything in any other square, only what is there in the square he is on when this action card gets executed. Once picked up, take that character card, whatever he picked out from the game board. The method for putting down whatever you are holding is the same as picking up. Note that in order to execute the program you need to fill all 4 slots of the program board with action cards. Only after you fill all 4 slots, the program gets executed. But in the junior version of the game, the program gets executed after every action card. That means, once you place the first action card on the leftmost slot, it gets executed and Robot Singho moves accordingly. Then you have to place the next action card on the adjacent slot, and that immediately gets executed, and Robot Singho moves as mentioned in that card. Great! Now you know everything you need for the Robot Singho and the Evil Thorny Vines adventure. Don't worry if you don't fully understand the rules yet. You will get plenty of time to understand them and use them in the adventures of Robot Singho. A quick suggestion to arrange the cards before you start playing. You must have already noticed that there are many types of cards you get in this game. As you play this game, these cards can mix with each other, making it harder for you to find the correct code. Besides, you need to be fast when entering your program. That is why we suggest to arrange your cards and sets as shown here, so you won't have any trouble finding the correct action card to move Robot Singho. In the multiplayer game, both players can create separate sets as shown here to program the Robot Singhos. That's it. You are all set to play Robot Singho and the Evil Thorny Vines adventure. Pick the following cards in order to play this game. You can discard the rest of the cards for these missions. Game board, main programming board, character tokens, action cards. Enjoy the game. Robot Singho and the race for the fruits. Multiplayer game. It's time to challenge each other for a race. Not just a race, but a programming race. It's a two-player game. You both get to be two robot Singhos trying to collect the harvest from the China as fast as possible. Let's see who is the better Pambarala who can swiftly collect most of the watermelons that are hidden behind trees and dangerous thorny vines. Pick these items in order to play this game. You can discard the rest of the cards as they are not needed to play this game. Game board, main programming board, character tokens, action cards. Rules. Both players start the game by placing each robot Singho on two opposite corners as shown below. Both players move into the programming phase and program together. Flip the execution button to the programming phase to start programming in each round. It is very important to note that both players are not allowed to show their respective programs to the other player. Keep your main programming board hidden away from the other player. Flip the action cards bottom up before placing them on the main programming board to prevent the other player from seeing the code. Once the programming is done, flip the execution button to the execution phase. One player, any player, can go first and move his or her robot Singho on the board according to the code. Then the other player has to move his or her robot Singho according to the code he or she has programmed. After both players have moved the Pambaralas on the board, that ends the round. Both players can be on the same square at the same time. If both players pick a watermelon in the same round, you have to see in which slot each player has programmed to pick up the watermelon. The player who has given the command first in his or her main programming board gets that watermelon. If both players have given the command on the same slot in the same round, no one gets the watermelon. It is removed from the game board. Trees and thorny vines act in the same way as the single-player game, Previous Adventure. How to win. The player who collects the most number of watermelons wins the game. The game goes on until there are no more watermelons on the game board. That's all you need to know to play this competitive adventure. Good luck to both of you. Advanced game rules. As a proud Pambarala, one of the main tasks Robot Singho has is to protect the China from anyone trying to steal the glorious harvest of Gamarala. Our Robot Singho is very good at this. He likes to show off his skills and defend his favorite China every night. But is he really prepared for the evil that is yet to arrive at his China? Can he fight off anything to save the harvest from being taken away? Little did a Pambarala know about the adventure that awaits him. Let's find out. The basic rules mentioned in previous pages applies to following games as well. First, let's see what more you can do in the main programming board. Movements in the programming board are exactly as the previous missions. But this time, Robot Singho has to throw watermelons at intruders to chase them away from the China. Learn to chase away enemies. Notice the below command. It has the card throw placed on the slot, and on top of it, the action card with yellow color is placed. Simply, this means that the Robot Singho throws a watermelon to the immediate yellow square in the direction he is currently facing. When you are executing this command, place an attacking, green, pawn on the yellow square specified by the above command. This notifies that whoever is going to be in that yellow square in that round gets hit by that watermelon. Once hit by a watermelon, whatever is hit needs to be removed from the board, along with the attacking green pawn. What does the enemy do? Similar to our Robot Singho, some intruders also move on the board. They are the thieves and the wild boars. During a round, they move only after Robot Singho is moved on the board. How they move is explained in each game mission. If a thief is moving, you can only attack him and chase him away by throwing a watermelon to a square he is going to be at the end of that round. Remember, you cannot chase the thief away by attacking the square he is on at the beginning of the round. Suppose that a thief has moved to a position where you have placed an attack pawn during the round. This means that the intruder is hit with the watermelon you have thrown to that square. Then that character pawn is immediately taken off the game board, indicating that you have successfully chased away that character. You cannot chase away wild boars by hitting watermelons at them. Only birds and thieves. When an enemy, a thief or a wild boar, hit the edge of the board, they immediately turn opposite direction, 180 degrees, and continue their movement in the new direction they are facing. Always remember to carry out enemy movements and take out all the enemies chased away after you have moved Robot Singho on the board. Rounds meter. When you go into the missions section in the Robot Singho and the Army of Thieves adventure, you will notice that there is a ladder-like drawing on the right side of each page. This is called the rounds meter. This meter counts the number of rounds you have completed and shows how many rounds you have before the mission ends. At the beginning of each mission, place a green attack pawn on the first, topmost square of the rounds meter to notify that you are in the first round. After the first round, places the pawn on the second square. Similarly, move the pawn to the new round at the beginning of each round before programming. Power rounds. Now let's understand what is probably the most interesting aspect of this adventure of Robot Singho. In this adventure, you learn how to power up Robot Singho. You can customize and upgrade his powers in each round. Let's learn how to do that. In the rounds meter, there are symbols P1, P2, and P3 marked adjacent to some rounds. These are called power rounds. There are 3 power rounds: Power Round 1, Power Round 2, and Power Round 3. To upgrade, you need to have your power cards, power round cards and power board ready. In the beginning, place 3 power round cards 1, 2 and 3 in respective slots 1, 2 and 3 on the power board. You have to do this at the start of each mission. Also keep the power card set, green color cards, facing down, after shuffling them well. Suppose you have gone to a round that has a power round mark. Now, you get to unlock a power round. That means, take the power rounds card with a respective number, P1, P2 or P3, to your hand from the power board. This means that the slot is now active. Now, in that same round, take the power cards set to your hand with their backs facing you. Now take the 4 top cards from the pack. Flip them and choose 2 cards from it and discard the other 2. You will not be able to use these discarded cards during that mission. Keep the power cards set back face down for future use. Now you need to fill the respective slot in the power board with the power cards you selected. Robot Singho powering up. Look at the first slot of the power board. It has 2 cards written on top of it. This means a maximum of 2 cards can be placed on the slot. Place cards on top of each other, such that top parts of both cards are clearly visible. You can use 2 types of cards to fill it. First is the power cards you have selected. Second, the direction action cards. Therefore, these direction action cards can be used in both the main programming board and the power board. So what is special about the power cards? Can you see above the slots in the power round board, it mentions the number of rounds each slot has. This means that whatever program you place on the slots of the power move board gets repeated that many times. The first slot has 2 rounds written above it. This means the program you place on the slot gets executed 2 times, altogether 2 cycles of the program, one after the other. Let's look at this example. Observe the main programming board and the power board. First you need to execute main programming board. Execution. First card. Robot Singho moves to blue square in the direction he is facing. Second card. Robot Singho turns right, which means he turns to the direction of the leaf. Third card. Power Round 2 is activated. Power Round 2. First power card. Throw watermelons to the square ahead, and the square on the right side to that square. Second power card. Turn left. The power round gets repeated until 3 rounds are completed. Then the program returns to the main programming board. Fourth card. Robot Singho moves to the closest yellow square in the direction he is facing. Do you now see how powerful this is? Great! Now try out some power programs of your own. Basically, there are so many great combinations you can come up with to make our robot Singho really powerful. Keep in mind only to place cards by the numbers specified on the top of the slot. The number of rounds the program is executed is also mentioned on top of the slot. Special note: remember, after programming a power round, you cannot change it during the entire mission. You may call it in any round you want, but you cannot change the program written in the power board once coded. Special note 2. Remember, you cannot call more than 2 power moves during a single programming round. You cannot place more than 2 power rounds cards on your main programming board in one round. Enemy special movements. Now that you know how to make our robot Singho powerful with your knowledge of programming, let's look into another interesting thing about the missions. In these missions, you are going to encounter thieves who come to steal the harvest of Gamarala. You need to defeat them in every chance you get. But there is something strange about these thieves. These thieves normally move in one normal pattern. Enemy movements are explained in each mission. But from time to time, they seem to be getting some special instructions from someone to change their movements. Someone wants to make it harder for Robot Singho to defeat them. But luckily, our Robot Singho knows how to identify them. Thieves communicate these special instructions with one another by the color of the cloth they wear to cover their eyes. With different colors, they communicate different commands to one another. When you see this symbol adjacent to the round in the rounds meter, that means the thieves moves according to the special command in that round. When this happens at the beginning of the round, take the 4 special attack cards to your hand with cards face down. Shuffle them well and take the top card and reveal it to see the color. You can find the special command communicated by each color on that mission page. Now program your moves considering the special moves that the thieves will be making. Note that when special moves are taking place, thieves do not move as per their normal move. That means the normal moves get overridden by special moves. Summary of a round. Let's look at each step you need to follow when you are going through one round. Move the pawn on the rounds meter to the new round you are entering. Flip the execution button to the programming phase. If there is a special enemy move for that round, shuffle and draw a card from the special attack card set. If there is a power round mark in that round, shuffle and take 4 cards from the power card set. Then select 2 cards and discard the other 2 cards. Now write the program you want. Check enemy places and the squares they are visiting during the round. You cannot move to or pass through points occupied by intruders at the beginning. Write the power round program if you have a new slot available to program also during this time. After completing, flip the execute button to finish the program. Now is the execution phase. First, move the robot Singho. Remember, you cannot make any changes to the program now. After that, move the enemies. Birds do not move. If there is a special enemy move in that round, move the thieves according to that. If not, move them as mentioned in the mission. Also, make sure you move thieves starting from the leftmost thief, one by one to the rightmost thief. This way, you can make sure you do not miss any thief movement. If a thief or a bird is hit by an attacking pawn, watermelon, you have thrown in that round, remove that character card from the board. If your character card is on the same square as an enemy at the end of a round, you lose a health point. Now repeat this for all the rounds. You need to complete the mission during the number of rounds mentioned in the rounds meter in that mission page. Health points. There are two ways Robot Singho can lose health points during the gameplay. You cannot move to or pass through a square an enemy is already on at the beginning of that round. If you move to or pass through such a square during any step of your program, you lose a health point. You cannot end up on a square that the enemy will move onto at the end of a round. The squares the enemy passes through to get there do not matter, but if the enemy also ends up on the same square you are in, at the end of that round, the enemy attacks Robot Singho and you lose a health point. These are the only ways you can lose health points, except in Mission 5. The new rules are explained on the Mission 5 page. The health points you get during each mission is mentioned by this symbol on the right. In a mission, if you have 2 of these symbols, that means you can survive up to 2 hits. If you get more than 2 hits, you lose the mission. Great! Now you know all the rules to play Robot Singho and the Army of Thieves. Good luck! Robot Singho and the War of Watermelons. It's time to find the best programmer for our Robot Singho. This is a 2-player game. You both have to program 2 Robot Singho and compete with each other. Let's see who can be the best programmer by coding the best programs. The rules of the game are simple. It is recommended to play the game Robot Singho and the Army of Thieves before playing this, as most of the rules apply to this game as well. How to win the game? Winning the game is simple. There are 12 rounds to this game. The Robot Singho who manages to successfully hit the highest number of watermelons on other player wins the game. Rules. All the rules of the game Robot Singho and the race for the fruits except rules numbers 4 and 5 apply to this game as well. Start the game by placing Robot Singhos and other character tokens as shown below. The 2 players are either attacking or defending in each round. If the first player is attacking in that round, the other player is defending. Choose which player is attacking in the first round by a coin toss. The player defending in the first round becomes the attacker in the second round, and defender again in the third round, and it goes like this from one player to the other for 12 rounds. Attacking Robot Singho gets executed first on the board, before defending Robot Singho. There are 12 rounds. In each round, the player who is attacking has to try to hit the other player with watermelons, while the other player has to avoid getting hit. Collect the watermelons, attack pawns, you successfully hit on the other player. In the end of 12 rounds, the player who has the most number of watermelons hits on the other player wins the game. Collecting watermelon tokens on the board gives you access to power cards. You need 2 watermelon tokens to create the first power round. Creating a power program is similar to the previous game. You need to collect 2 more watermelon tokens for the second power round, 2 more for the third power round. How to hit your opponent. During your programming phase, you need to predict where the opponent will move and plan your moves accordingly. To hit your opponent in your attacking round, you can attack any square the opponent will move into or pass through during the execution of that round. But you don't hit your opponent if you attack the square the opponent is currently in at the beginning of the round, except if the opponent stays in that square for at least 1 slot in the main programming board during the execution of that round. Let's say you attack the square the opponent is in at the beginning of the round. It is not considered a hit if the opponent immediately moves out of that square in the first command of main programming board itself. But if he or she stays in that square, turning or picking up a watermelon, for at least 1 command out of 4 in his or her main programming board, it is a hit. Now you know all the details to play this awesome competitive adventure. Choose your opponent and go to battle. Good luck and great programming to both of you. Game modes. Excellent. Now that you have completed playing the missions and games in Robot Singho's adventures, it is time to make each mission even more interesting. As you already know by now, you can play each mission in many other ways. These are called modes. By selecting the mode you think is interesting, you can experience the missions in a whole new way. There will be new exciting challenges and great opportunities for your programming skills to shine. Let's what these modes are. Adventure mode. This is the normal mode you play all the missions with. You get all the time you need to carefully plan Robot Singho's next moves, predict enemy movements and program your code in this mode. Time bomb mode. You only get 1 minute to program your code. That's right. Get a stopwatch or any clock to measure time. Start measuring the time as soon as you flip the execution card to programming phase. You need to finish the code before 1 minute and quickly flip the execution button. When the minute is over, whatever you have finished programming will be executed whether you completed it or not. Lightning mode. This is for multiplayer games. It's about the fastest programmer. Both programmers start writing the program by flipping the execution card to programming phase. The player who finishes first has to quickly flip the execution card to execution phase. Once this happens, the other player has to stop programming. Whatever programs coded up to that point will be executed. Jumble mode only applies to Robot Singho and the Army of Thieves. In the adventure mode, normal mode, when you go to a round with an enemy special movement, you get to see what the special movement is before you start programming. But in this mode, you need to finish programming your code first, then execute it. After then only, you can get a random enemy special movement card and see what the exact special movement is for that round. You need to be extra careful and plan for every possible enemy move in this mode. Developer mode. This is a fun creative mode. Now you know how to play and win the adventures of Robot Singho. But can you create your own adventure for our hero? That is exactly what this mode is about. You have all the characters, programming techniques, objects you need. Now is the time to develop your own adventure and play it with your friends. You can start becoming a great game developer. Thank you for playing the adventures of Robot Singho. You now know what programming is. You are a programmer already. Programming, robotics, game developments are very interesting fields to study, and you've taken your first step in that path. You can achieve great success if you work passionately like our Robot Singho and move towards your goals. Good luck to you.